Welcome to another review of my RC airplane collection. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Flyzone Skyfly, the first one. They have made a second one. It's pretty much all red and has a bit more powerful motor and battery. But I haven't ever flown that one, so yeah. This is so far my favorite aircraft to fly. It's the one I fly most of all the time. It's very easy. It was my first pretty much good RC airplane. My first RC airplane was this thing. Didn't have any airlines, elevators, just how fast the rotors spun, the props spun on each side. More power went up, less power went down. More power on one side and turned. This thing doesn't fly that well anymore. Just does circles and crashes. So this was pretty much my first big quality RC model airplane. I have taken quite a few hits with this. It's nice and sturdy. Easy to buy new parts for it. You can buy new elevators and rudders, wings, landing gear. I've had to buy and replace one of each so far, except for the wing. First wing, and I think I've had about like 15 crashes with this thing, mainly into trees and into fences. But landing gear is pretty nice, stable. The rotor I haven't had to replace. It's nice and safe in the back behind the landing gear, above the shaft, so clear of the ground unless somehow you manage to flip the plane over and like break the rudder so much that it actually gets hit on the ground. It has a pretty nice motor right here. The wing just attaches on with rubber bands, no glue necessary for this plane. Just pretty much rubber bands, like fishing line, pretty much. And if you open up the cockpit here, little plastic cover hides the inside of the plane with the servos right there for the rudder and elevator. This plane has no ailerons, but it works pretty well on the rudder. You can see the circuit board in there. This is where the battery plugs into. The battery goes into here. This is essentially an ultralight, pretty much. Just takes one of these little batteries, 7.2 volts, nickel metal hydride battery. Very nice, powerful for this type of plane. You get about 10-minute flight with it on like full throttle, pretty much. But you just put the battery into here, make sure it's snug, and connect it. And you see the little light that's on, make sure your battery's working. You hear the servos working, and you just put this back on. Put this front little part on first, and then twist, and it's on. And if you get the remote, kind of bulky, beginner and expert mode. This plane comes with a DVD to show you how to fly it. It's a very nice plane. If you don't have the battery in it, the tail will sit on the ground like that. But when the battery's in it, the nose is weighed down, so it works better. No steerable nose wheel or rudder control here. You just use like where the aileron control is for the rudder. Pretty simple, just for turning, essentially. Has trim for the throttle, elevator, and rudder. Pretty nice aircraft, nice and durable. Like I said, I've had a few crashes with it already. It's pretty powerful. Very, very nice glider. It's like one of the best powered gliders that I've ever had. Gets to be a good 25 miles an hour. I can take it up pretty high, shut the engine off, glide down, then take it up again, glide down, take it up, glide down. On some days, like, if you adjust the elevator to make it the plane nose down, if you get really high, you might be able to go straight down and then pull back all of a sudden after you get a good amount of speed and do some loops. I have done a few hammerheads while trying to do a loop, so went up, swung around, came back. One time I got too near to some high tension wires and I couldn't control the plane. All I controlled was the throttle, and I was gliding, so then I turned the throttle on. It went straight up, did a hammerhead, and came back, and just barely hit the power lines. So that saved me. Been lucky with this plane so far. Crashed into some rocks and stuff. But, I did do, like, 4 loops in a row with this thing on one dive. That was the only time I've ever done that. But you have to be from a pretty high altitude and then drop and gain a very large amount of speed to be able to do a loop in this plane. Like, you'd have to put the trim all the way down for the elevator, and then, like, right before you do the loop, you pull the trim back down to go up again. So, pretty nice plane. Overall, I'd give it a 9.5 out of 10. It is my favorite RC plane to fly. It's very nice, lightweight. See, I'm so light and easy to handle. I'm not afraid to toss it up in the air and catch it. Can hold it like a fish like that if you want to. Just uses the servos to pull the line or release some to work the control surfaces of the plane. Then the rubber band pulls it back when the lines give slack to go the other way. Yeah, pretty nice aircraft. One of my favorite to fly, one I fly the most. Pretty good for small field, and I'd recommend it for beginners if they want to try flying a high quality RC airplane for the first time. You can either hand launch this thing or take off from the ground from a asphalt or concrete surface, like our street or something. But it does need a somewhat large turning radius, because all it has is rudder to steer it. But I have tried putting a smaller camera on it already, on the top, or right there, and it didn't really work so well. The plane wasn't able to lift it, so I'm trying to look for smaller cameras to put on it for in-flight video. It just went into a tree then. I didn't get any footage. Camera shut itself off. But anyway, that was a broom. Anyway, that's very nice aircraft, my favorite. Thank you for watching.